A year ago, Zhang Chundong helped the firm he manages expand into Vietnam, part of a wave of Chinese businesses to choose the booming manufacturing hub since the trade war of US President Donald Trump's first term. Now the company, a distributor of forklifts made by China's BYD, is struggling to achieve the fast growth it expected as factory projects stall, and Vietnam waits to see if an enormous 46% tariff threatened by Trump this month will materialize. Jiang, VO. Some factories that we received orders from are almost ready for operation, but since the tariff news, we got notice that projects and the purchasing of our forklifts are on hold, said Jiang, manager at Ho Cha New Energy Group, whose clients in Vietnam include Chinese electronics company TCL. Jiang, VO. We should be in a stage of a rapid growth, but due to the tariffs we are not, he told AFP. Many Chinese businesses in Vietnam, particularly those exporting directly to the United States, in theory find themselves in a better position than they would be at home, with Beijing already facing levies of up to 145% on many products. Hanoi, like much of the rest of the world, has been hit with a blanket 10% tariff and has a short window before delayed reciprocal levies come into force in July. There's still hope that the figure can be negotiated down. But in Vietnam's northern industrial Bac Ninh Province, Chinese businesses that AFP interviewed, most of whom are linked to the export supply chain, said investors were hesitating and anxiety was widespread. Jiang, 39, said he had confidence in the negotiations but explained that 3 or 4 of the firm's projects were on hold. Jiang, VO. I've talked with a few clients, and the answers at the moment are all the same: we need to keep waiting. In Bac Ninh, around 40 kilometers from Hanoi by road, restaurants, massage parlors and convenience stores with Chinese signs jostle for space with Korean shops and eateries. South Korea has long been a huge investor in Vietnam, with electronics giants such as Samsung and LG both in Bac Ninh, but China is fast catching up. Around 10,000 Chinese people lived in the province by the end of 2023, the latest figure available, and expats in the area said the figure had likely surged since then. In recent years, Vietnam's economy has been developing, and China and the US keep having trade friction. So many companies that were hesitant before came to Vietnam these 2 years. Wang, or VO, said Wang Hongxin, 40, who moved to Vietnam more than a decade ago to work with a Samsung supplier. One of them is Vietnam Kepai, a Chinese firm which makes computer numerical control machines and expanded into Bac Ninh last month, in search of new markets and to escape fierce competition back home. LIVO. There are many companies that are successful in China, hoping to explore the market in Vietnam. I've heard this conversation so many times in Chinese restaurants here, said Li Pingwu, the firm's 33-year-old manager. The nation ranked 3rd among Vietnam's top investors in 2024, behind only Singapore and South Korea, with a more than 3% jump compared to the previous year. It also led in terms of new investment projects, representing more than a quarter of all newly registered initiatives. This influx is what appeared to provoke Trump, as he announced huge tariffs on Vietnam in early April, with Washington accusing the country of facilitating Chinese exports to the United States and allowing Beijing to get around tariffs. Although a 2024 report by the International Monetary Fund said there was no clear evidence of Vietnam's role in facilitating Chinese exports to the United States, manager Jiang admitted he had seen this happening. Jiang, VO. Some of our clients, including the ones selling floorboards or molding machines, are doing entrepot trading, involving exports to the US. Vietnam's trade ministry has ordered authorities to tighten control over the origin of goods to avoid sanctions by trading partners in the wake of the threatened US tariffs, according to a document seen by AFP on Tuesday. One businessman in Bac Ninh said the surge in investment had once created a worker shortage, but the situation for Vietnamese staff at Chinese companies is now uncertain. Hung, VO. We have stopped getting to work overtime, said Hung, who earns about $270 a month working at a Chinese company producing exterior parts for desktop monitors. Hung, VO. I don't know how life will be now, as it's so hard to live here with what I earn. We originally planned to upgrade some equipment for long-term development, but, because the investment will be quite big, we are a little hesitant now. Wang, VO. Wang admitted he was anxious.